I want you to transport yourself from this room into the Olympics. Might be a stretch of the imagination, but I just want you to do it. You've competed. It could be for a sport that you did in elementary school or college, or a sport that you've never tried but you've wanted to. Not only are you at the Olympics, but you are on the medals podium. You've won an Olympic medal. How do you feel? I see a lot of smiles, so I assume happy, proud, joyful. The Sochi Winter Games wrapped up about a week and a half ago, and we saw a lot of these joyous moments. We also saw moments of disappointment on the podium when athletes had come so close to gold but had missed out and instead got silver or bronze. There were moments in hockey and ice skating where you saw athletes crying on the podium, visibly disappointed. And I think a lot of us have a hard time relating to that feeling because most of us would feel so happy to get an Olympic silver medal or an Olympic bronze medal. But as an Olympian, I understand that because you don't train that hard to lose. You train to win. And my first taste of winning was in 1996. It was at my elementary school's track meet, and just to set the stage, my parents had enrolled me in ballet class up until this point in my life, so I had only ever been on a stage in a tutu. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I was ready for something different. And so I showed up to my elementary school's track meet. It was the first time I was going to compete head-to-head, and man, I was feeling good. I was feeling really good. And I went out, and I won everything. 60-meter, 200-meter shot put. So, I don't want to brag, but I was feeling really good that day. And I brought home these medals, ribbons, and they ignited this spark. 1996 was the last time that I came away from anything with 15 blue ribbons, which is why today I'd like to talk about losing, why it matters, and how it can help us go further. Ready? Let's go. Losing gives us perspective. My teammates and I, Megan, Kara, Adrian, we competed in the women's quadruple sculls in London. And this is a 4-person boat, 2 oars each, and we are in lane 5, which is second from the right here on the screen. My teammates and I did not win. These guys did. This is Ukraine, and Ukraine is impressive not just because they're winning, but because they're winning by so much. Think about the people that they're beating. They're beating people who are the best in their respective countries at what they do, and yet Ukraine is just that much better, even just a minute and a half into this 6.5-minute-long race. Look at this margin. And this is what I mean by perspective, because without losing, how would we know just how good we truly are and what we need to do to improve? Because let's face it, I would have preferred to have beat Ukraine than to have lost to them. But when you become really good at something, when you rise to the top of anything, it becomes harder and harder to come by a win. Let's take the Olympics, for example. 170,000 athletes have ever competed in the modern games, and yet only 3% of them have come away with gold medals. So think about that for a second. Only 3% of Olympians are truly considered winners. And this is when you can really start to relate to Olympians, because I want you to consider the big wins you've had in your life. When was the last time you were in Ukraine's position? Whether it be in your personal life, or your academic career, or your professional career. It might have been yesterday. It might have been 2 years ago. Or maybe you're still waiting for that big win. And if you are, I'm here to tell you that that's okay, because even Olympic athletes spend a lot of time out of first place and a lot of time searching for that big win. But my favorite part about losing is that it gives us a focus on our passion. It shows us what we really love to do in life. Now, I trained for 8 years in rowing, and for the first 5, man, I was good. I won stuff. I was the best in practice. And then I made it to that top tier, and I started training with the national team, and I went from losing and being really good to, or winning and being really good to losing a lot. In fact, during my time as a full-time athlete, I raced in about 11 major races, whether it was by myself or with my teammates, And on average, I finished 4th. So I spent a lot of time in a losing position, and I gotta tell you, I loved it. Man, did I love it, because I had found my passion. And when you find your passion, failing only makes you want to continue doing it, because you hold out the hope that if you just believe, you focus enough, you work hard enough, you will succeed. And I'm here to tell you that chances are you will. So why does losing matter, and how can it help us go further? It matters because we're all losers. We all lose more than we win. That's okay. And it helps us go further because it gives us perspective, and it teaches us what our passions really are. My teammates and I, we did not win this race, but we did get 3rd, and it was a huge victory. The United States had never medaled in the women's quadruple sculls without coxswain over 2,000 meters. We were the first ones to ever get a medal in this event for the United States. And I can tell you that losing never felt so good. And so I challenge you, all of you, to leave here today and to find something that is worth doing, so much so that you are willing to risk failing in it. It sounds a little hokey, but when you put it into practice, it's very powerful. And you never know. Your bronze might just be the gold that you were searching for all along. Thank you.